the Corvallis Super Regional, hosted by number 3 seed Oregon State and being upset by 14th seed Auburn. All games were extremely close, either having a 1 or 2 run differential, and with Cooper Jerpy getting his start pushed back to Saturday due to illness, there is that question in the air of if Oregon State was able to pitch him on that first game, would they have been able to start the series on the right foot? And that's a question that's gonna just continue looming. It's a brutal way to end the season. You get the win from Jerpy, but getting that first win in game one is always a lot more beneficial, and you're starting on the right foot and helps out a lot more with your case instead of having to win 2 in a row later on.
Yeah, I think the stat is that game one winners win 80% of the super regionals they're in. And yeah, this was another series we had nailed pretty well prediction wise. I stated that Auburn just needed to win one of the first 2 games, which they did on Saturday when, like Asher mentioned, Jerpy was scratched and ended up starting the Sunday game instead, which the Beavers in turn would win. But on Monday, the Auburn pitching staff did just enough as Oregon State out-hit Auburn 8-3, but Auburn was able to score 4 runs off those 3 hits with the just clutch hitting and some timely small ball as well. I mean, that is just a very impressive series win for Auburn on the road. Yeah, that was a great weekend there. Tough to see Oregon State's season come to an end at home, especially when you have the what ifs, like you mentioned, of what if Jerpy was able to start on that Saturday game in game one.
Yeah, you have one of the best pitchers in the country, and with Jerpy, and one of the best players in Jacob Melton, and that combination is always going to be tough to beat. And Auburn was just able to do it, especially that final game. They weren't that Oregon State offense was not able to get that clutch hit. And props just to the Auburn pitching staff, able to fight out of a lot of jams, stranding 9 runners and striking out 14 Oregon State batters throughout that game. So they did their job, they did enough, and that Auburn offense, like you mentioned, just able to get enough runs and enough hits, even though they only had 3 to get the job done and lead them to the College World Series. But they were led by Sonny DiChiara, 2 home runs in the Super Regional, continues to be that top dog on the team and one of the best players in the nation. And they'll need him to continue staying hot for their run to continue going that direction. But they'll be facing Ole Miss, who came out of the Hattiesburg Super Regional, against number 11 overall seed Southern Miss. Somewhat of an upset, even though Ole Miss comes in a lot more talented, and they came in as a team preseason who was projected to be one of the best teams in the nation. Didn't pan out that way. Really had to fight at the end to even make the tournament, and some say they didn't deserve a spot, but they're proving that they did with this amazing run. They're the second team, along with Texas A&M, that has not lost a game at all, and even more impressive with Southern Miss not scoring a run this past weekend against Ole Miss in the 2 games they played. So Ole Miss seems to have reached their potential that people said they would be at during the beginning of the year, somewhat similar to Texas. They're really getting things going, pitching and offense-wise. It's just a really good combo at the moment for Ole Miss.
Yeah, like you mentioned, with Ole Miss's talent, it wasn't a surprise to see them take this series, but I did not think it would be as dominant as it was. Like you mentioned, they shut them out in both games, 10-0 and 5-0. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible how Ole Miss has turned this season around. They were 7-14 in SEC play. People were suggesting that Mike Bianco should be fired, and now here they are. They were picked as the 64th team to be selected into the tournament, and they're headed to Omaha. And I mean, you wouldn't be surprised to see this result before the season started, but given how the course of the season went, it is a definite surprise. And for the Southern Miss, on the other hand, it's just a real disappointment. It was an incredible season for them. they should hold their heads high. It was a great season. They have a great program there. Impressive stuff for them to even be in the situation to host a regional, and they were in contention for a national seed as well. But it's disappointing for their place in the record books at the end of the year to be the first team ever to host a super regional and not score a run.
Yeah, it's got to be a disappointment to obviously not score a run, but not get a game off Ole Miss. Show the fans that they're still one of the best teams in the nation. I mean, that they proved that by getting to the supers, but it's always tough, especially against an in-state rival like Ole Miss. And while there were a lot of fans from Ole Miss, you kind of want to give them the Southern Miss welcome and have some sort of counter for what's going on there, but they were unfortunately unable to do that, and Ole Miss looks like a team that is very dangerous and is going to be very difficult to beat because nobody's done it yet in the postseason. But anything else you want to say about this matchup?
No, I think that's good. Just should be a exciting matchup between Ole Miss and Auburn in that first round. Good little SEC West matchup. Yeah, should be exciting. Both teams are very hot and have been playing well down the stretch.
Yeah, should be awesome to see it. Thank you for watching and listening. If you enjoyed, we would really appreciate a like and subscribe for more weekly college baseball content.